If you run a small business, there's a decent chance you've been putting off building or updating your website. Maybe you started with a template and gave up halfway, or you got a quote from a developer and decided it could wait another couple months. Hi, I'm Garrick, and today, in partnership with GoDaddy, I want to show you GoDaddy Airo AI Builder. I recently used it to build a working website for a small business in just a few minutes, with no wrestling with templates, no code, and no developer. I just described the business in my own words, and it built the whole thing for me. The pages, the copy, the images, and even a working appointment request form. GoDaddy Airo AI Builder is affordable and best for small business owners who need a real website or app online as soon as possible and don't have time to learn a page editing program. And you can start for free with 50 credits with no credit card required. I'll come back to what those credits get you in a few minutes, but first, let's jump in. You can get started by going to godaddy.com/airo/AI-builder in your web browser. This box in the middle is where you describe what you want. You can see some examples of things you can ask for, or click the buttons along the bottom for some more ideas. For example, if I already have a website I'm not too happy with, I could click Redesign with a fresh look, and then paste in my site's address. Or I might click to see an option of a prompt to build an online store, or a business directory. These are all just examples of things you can type. For what we're doing today, I'm going to start from scratch. Now, one thing to note before we get started, I'm on the professional plan here for this demonstration, which gives me 300 credits a month, while the free plan gives you 50. Now, the conversational building works exactly the same either way, and you'll be able to build everything I'm showing you today with less than 50 credits, but the more credits you have, the more you can experiment with your content. But again, all I have to do here is describe what I want. This can be completely conversational, but the more details you provide, the better. So for example, I'll say, I run a mobile pet spa called Garrick's Mobile Pet Spa. I drive to customers' homes in the Portland area and wash and style their dogs in my van. I do baths, haircuts, nail trims, and de-shedding. I want a friendly, clean-looking website that makes people trust me with their dog, shows what I charge, and lets them book an appointment. So notice I've provided information about what my business is called, what I do, and what I want the website to do. And once I've typed my prompt, I can click Start Building for free. Now, if you haven't yet created an account, you'll be prompted to do so when you click. But in my case, I'm already signed into my account, so I can just click to start building. And here's what came back. Start to finish, this took just a little over 4 minutes. And now we have a complete homepage. We've got this Heroes section, a list of our services, how it works, our price list, some testimonials, and a booking option. It even generated this logo for my business, which I could replace if I already have a logo I use. Now, as with any AI tool that writes for you, always read and check what it wrote before you publish it. For example, maybe I'm not comfortable with this Portland's favorite mobile groomer line since I'm just getting started with my business. And it did make up all of these prices, so I will have to go through and make sure these all match up with what I'm actually charging. Now, notice down here at the bottom, we have this edit area. When I click edit, I can select this Annotate tool. I'll click that, and I'll drag a box around Portland's favorite mobile groomer up here. And then Airo prompts me to tell it how I want it to change it. And I'll just say, remove this text. Notice that adds the text area here to the prompt area. And when I send that prompt, it takes just a couple seconds, and that line is gone. So Annotate is for selecting a specific item or section on the page. But with edit still selected, I can click into any text and change it just like a word processor. Notice it gives me word processing tools. And if I select an image, I can choose to modify it or replace it with another image or adjust its cropping and zoom. Now, it's worth knowing the difference between your editing tools because it affects what you spend. Manual edits like clicking into text and typing, or swapping out a photo, or correcting one of these placeholder prices cost no credits at all. The Annotate feature does use credits because you're asking the AI to make the change for you. So a good rule of thumb is to handle the small changes like editing text and images yourself and save your credits for bigger changes like removing, adding, or moving sections of the site. And for those bigger changes, you can just talk to Airo in the chat. So let's say I want a different look for the site. I'll type, make the site warmer and more playful, soft blues and sunny yellow instead of this palette. And you can actually watch the changes happen in front of you, both on the website itself, but if you also watch the chat, you can see the decisions that it's making. For example, now it's saying it's going to regenerate the logo with the new warm yellow palette so the brand mark matches the new colors. So it's thinking like a designer. And there it is. Now, usually after you make changes, it'll ask you what you think. You're free to answer these questions to help refine its choices, but I can also just hide that if I want to continue typing in my own prompts. So for example, I think this headline is a little corporate for someone who washes dogs in a van. So I'll tell it to rewrite the homepage headline. It's too corporate, make it sound like a friendly neighbor who loves dogs. And there's our new headline. Again, if I wanted to tweak the wording it came up with, I could just click the edit button and click into that text to make the changes myself. Let's try one more change. I want people to know how the van service works. So I'll say, add a section explaining how the van works, that I bring water and power so customers don't need to provide anything. And it's done. Now, I want to point out a couple of things that happened here. First of all, it did create a brand new section called Everything's in the Van, and it generated all of this content for me here. But if you look over here in the chat, it actually ran into a couple of problems while it was trying to build this section of the site, but it fixed it on its own. It even realized it ran into a problem and said it completed this portion for free. So this last section took a little bit longer because it was building something new instead of changing what was there. But altogether, these last 3 changes we made only cost about 8 credits. So making edits like this is pretty affordable. Now, so far, we've built out the homepage, but there are other pages we need on this site. One of the most important things I need is the ability for customers to book appointments through the website. Now, not too long ago, this took a lot of work by a developer to build something like this, but GoDaddy Airo AI Builder can do it all for me. It's already generated a Book Now button here. Let's see what happens when I click it. So we see this page isn't built yet, so it knew I needed a booking page, it just hasn't built it yet. So I'll click Build this page. Notice it adds the appropriate prompt over there in the chat area. And this time it doesn't ask me anything because it already knows what this business is. It's going to build the back end, it's going to scaffold the content, and then build the page. Okay, so now it's built the form, it's taken me back to the home page. So now let's see what happens when I click Book Now. It takes me right to that form. It has the form over here on the right. It's added contact info over here on the left that I can, of course, go in and customize and correct. It has pretty much everything we might need from a customer who wants to inquire about our services. But is this a real working form or is it just a picture of one? Well, let's click in some of these fields. So all of these fields appear to be active. We even have some that are required. And I'll click Request Appointment. We get a message saying that you're on the list and that Garrick will be in touch within a few hours to confirm your appointment. And if I switch over to my email inbox, there it is, with everything the customer typed. And there was no email account to connect and no configuration. Airo did it all for me. And keep in mind, this isn't only for websites. You can build apps, online stores, and dashboards the same way, just by describing what you need. So you could keep going this way through the whole site, refining pages, asking it to add new ones, all through conversation. And once you're done, it's time to publish your site. Before we do so, though, we want to ask, how does this site look on other devices? Down here at the bottom of the screen, I can switch between desktop, tablet, and mobile. So most people are probably going to find a business like this on their phone. And now we can see what this will look like on a mobile device. It has the menu up here, and the layout has been optimized for mobile display. I'll switch that back to the desktop display. So when you're ready to put your site live on the web, you can just click Publish. Now, because I'm already on the Pro plan, I'll see my publishing options here. If you're using the free plan, you'll be asked to pick a paid plan. So bear in mind that building your website is free, but going live requires a paid plan. But when you're ready to publish, you can choose a free web address, which is fine for testing, though as you can see here, it's just a string of random characters. For a real business, you'd want a proper domain, and you can search for one right here, or you can connect one that you already own. For this example, I'll just use the free project URL and click Publish. It takes just a couple seconds to publish it. It says it's published. I can copy that address, open a new tab, and now here's my new site live on the web. So we went from idea to live site in just minutes. We told it what we wanted, We reviewed what it built, we tweaked some things, built some other pages, and we hit publish. We didn't lose an afternoon struggling with a template, and we didn't spend weeks waiting on a developer's quote. And that's it, our site is now live on the web. Hosting, security, and an SSL certificate all come with GoDaddy Airo AI Builder, and it also handled the search engine basics, so your site isn't starting out invisible. Now, as I mentioned earlier, each AI-generated change to your site uses credits. But 50 free credits are usually enough to build a full site and make several rounds of edits before you need to upgrade. Everything you just watched came to around 38 credits. And that's the build, the logo, multiple rounds of changes, and the working booking page. So there is room to build and refine your site with the 50 free credits, but not a lot of room to experiment, which is worth knowing about before you start. So that's GoDaddy Airo AI Builder. You describe your business in plain language, it asks a couple of questions, and builds you a real website. You refine your site by talking to it, pointing at things, or editing directly. And it builds real working features like booking forms, not just pages that look like they work, all without writing a line of code. That's your idea turned into a fully running business, all in one place. Just remember to always read everything it wrote before you put it in front of customers. Remember that it's writing confident copy about a business it's never seen, and some of it will be made up or simply placeholders until you add the real information. And your idea can be live today. Click the link in the description to get 50 free credits and start building, no credit card required. I'm Garrick, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.